Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the latest Shared Services Joint Committee here at the Corby Cube. Item 1 on the agenda, apologies for non-attendance.
Thank you, Chair. Received apologies from Councillor Adam Brown, and Councillor Matt Golby is attending as substitute.
Okay, got an apology from Councillor Helen Harrison, as she's, as you know, tied up in other duties at the moment. So item 2, minutes of the meeting held on the 25th of October. Do we have any matters arising to their accuracy at all? No? So we're happy with those. Jolly good. So item 3, members' declarations of interest. Members, do you have any declarations of interest? Councillor Hallam.
Thank you. Just that David and I are related through my cousin, so just declare that, as I'm sure David will too.
Fantastic. Councillor Nunn? I thought you had your hand up.
Oh,
No others? Okay. Moving on to item 4, notifications to address the meeting. I believe there's been no notifications received. There's no chair's announcements. So we move on to item 6, which is commissioning healthcare in Northamptonshire. I believe Hayley is going to introduce this report. Oh, up on the screen.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yep. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Yes, I'm here to discuss the Health Watch service paper. So currently we have a Health Watch service that is commissioned across both North and West Northamptonshire Council. So the paper is here to discuss the separation of Health Watch across Northamptonshire and have a more local Health Watch service that's within West Northamptonshire Council and North Northamptonshire Council, and to also discuss the additional 12-month waiver in order for each authority to prepare and do a new service specification for that. A Health Watch service is a statutory duty for each local authority to have a localised Health Watch service to its own area. We did an online consultation and that was carried out across Northamptonshire. We had only about 120 responses for the service, and during that it showed that there was a very limited number of people who knew what Health Watch did or what they'd heard of, and the responses showed that they were basically not very well known. The also demographics of the consultation that captured across the districts were not very even representation across both authorities. We only had about 25% of the responses within West Northamptonshire areas and around 72% in North Northamptonshire Council. So the recommendation would be to kind of go for each local authority to go into have their own more localised Health Watch service within the West and more localised service within the North.
Thank you very much, Hayley. Members, is there any comments in relation to this report? No? Okay. If we're happy with the report, should we vote in favour of it? Yep. Fantastic. So we move on to item 7, option appraisal for recommissioning public health services for children and young people and integrated sexual health services. I believe that's Jane, you're going to introduce that report.
Thank you, Councillor Smithers. So this report is laying out our ambitions to disaggregate some of our key public health contracts going forward. So the contracts that you'll see in the paper cover some of our biggest areas of spend. So that is the 0 to 19 service, but also we've got the sexual health service in there as well. What we would like to do is look at thinking about how does that best go forward in terms of the need of the populations in the north of the county, the north of the patch, but also the west. We feel that now is the right time for us to say, what is that need? Is it more appropriate for us to do this on a separate standing as opposed to doing it jointly as we have done since 2019? Both Sally and myself, in many discussions that we've had, do feel that now is the right time to do that. we think we can get an offer that meets the needs of the population and do that really well. We have the right commissioning capacity to do that and to do a really good, solid piece of work over the next 14 months to say, what is the ask? What do we need to do? How does that fit with our architecture, both in the north and the west, around family hubs, for example, and for us to get a really, really good offer. Now, what we also know is that we want to continue to work together really solidly in that interim period. So we have excellent relationships with our colleagues in the West, and in that period we'll do some joint work around what do we do to make sure we're always continually improving the services that we've got at the moment. And then when it comes to doing that recommissioning at the end of March 2025, we want to be in a place where we've done lots of work to make sure we understand the population, we understand our providers, we know what the market looks like, and that we can do a really solid piece of commissioning that's been fully engaged with across the system, really. We feel we're in a good position to do that. We do understand there are some potential risks that we need to think about. One of those is for our current contracts, we have been able to have a degree of mutual aid. So, for example, we have one contract at the moment around 0 to 19s, so that if there is some health visiting gaps in one part of the geography, and to be fair, that has been in the west more than it has been the north, recruitment is a national problem for health visiting. There has been some movement allowed within the current contract, but we think that we can work with that, and we think there is ways that we can ensure that we can still have a degree of that across the patch, but get that offer that's very much focused around the needs of our two different populations and with the services that we provide in those two patches. So the recommendation is to look to disaggregate those services, but for us to continue to work in a really solid way over the next 14 months as two authorities, to continue that service offer and to do the development work we need to get the best offer as two different approaches from April 2025.
Thank you, Jane. That is a reasonable way forward. Members, have we got any comments in relation to Councillor Golby?
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. Just to agree with the recommendations and support the notion of disaggregation. Obviously, we've been on this journey. We're looking to try and theme ourselves around our populations, as we've talked about. That commitment to work together is good, and I look forward to reprocuring, particularly the 0 to 19 contract, which is huge. And I think we can all agree that we could probably do a better job, with the outcomes that we need to achieve for that particular population moving forward. So I look forward to seeing this on the journey to fulfilling that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Golby. Okay, so happy with that approach and report? If we okay to vote in favour?
Yeah, entirely. Agreed.
Thank you. So moving on to item 8, which is the Inter-Authority Agreement 2023-24 Q2 Performance Report. And I believe Sarah Reid is going to introduce the report. Tom, sorry.
Thank you, Chair. So this report is the usual report that the committee receives on performance, shows an overview of performance for IAA services for the period from July to September 2023, that's the second quarter. It contains information about 47 performance indicators, of which 31 have met or exceeded target, and 16 were indicators with no activity or weren't due. Generally, good performance against the targets. There are no red performance indicators reported in this quarter. Several indicators have improved or have particularly good performance. AMHP4, which covers had a confirmed a service review meeting held in the quarter, which was an improvement on last quarter's report. The percentage of West Northamptonshire Council apprentices who started their qualification and successfully completed was 100% against a target of 75%. There were very few referrals processed by the assistive technology team that were still open at the end of the quarter, where low is good. There were only 11 against a target of 150. And the average time for streetlight lamp repair in North Northamptonshire was only at 1.4 days against a target of 5 days. So in summary, the report is showing good performance across IAA services, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Much appreciated, and it's pretty positive news on that report. And well done to everyone that's achieved that. Any comments from members? Sorry, Anna, sorry.
Thank you, Chair. Just a general comment, I suppose, on IAAs. We're at that point, obviously, near the end of the year, and we're all setting budgets. There is a real need that we all need to get behind to make sure that we finalise the charges for this year, because, of course, we have a true-up period, don't we, at the end of the IIA periods, and likewise in terms of setting next year's budget. And I think there's been a bit of a delay in getting those agreed, so I think we're just all need to be conscious that to get it into our final budgets, we need to do that soon, because otherwise we'll end up with all sorts of things carrying over to the next year, and I don't think any of us would want that. So I think just a general reminder, really, that we all need to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna. Appreciate that. Members, are we happy to note that report? Yep. Okay, brilliant.